Hey guys, welcome back to the Ron Williams YouTube channel. Natural Mr. World, Natural Bodybuilder of the Decade, also inducted into the Natural Bodybuilders Hall of Fame. Today I'm really excited about doing Fact or Fiction once again, and you guys have sent in some great questions and we're going to jump right into it. Now the way this works is I'm going to quote the fact or fiction, and then you're going to answer it in your mind or out loud, and I'm going to give you a few seconds, and then I'm going to answer the question. First question is this: fact or fiction? It is impossible to get the best results without compound movements like squats or bench press. Fact or fiction? It's impossible to get great results without the compound movements. I'll give you a few seconds. Now this is one that was very interesting, an interesting question to me, because it's very subjective. It depends on what your goals are and what you want to accomplish. If you have enough muscle mass, or it's not your desire to put on an excessive amount of muscle, then the compound movements are absolutely not necessary. But if you are a bodybuilder or a power lifter or somebody that has you're actually in a sport that demands for you to be stronger and bigger, the compound movements are very, very necessary. But you want to be very, very careful also at the same time. Personally, I never do bench press. There are other movements that we can do that are better for you than bench press, that actually acquires the arc movement. And we talk a lot about arc movement technology. So that is very subjective. It's true and it's false. It's fact and it's fiction, because you can develop the body you want depending on your end result. What are your goals? If you wanna lean out, get a six-pack, and get striations in your shoulders, and you wanna have a physique more like a model, then you don't need the compound movements. But if you want to be a power lifter or a thick bodybuilder, then it's pretty important to do those compound movements. There you go. Question number 2. Lower body fat percentage means higher testosterone level. Fact or fiction? If your body fat is lower, it means you have a higher level of testosterone. Is that a fact or is it fiction? You answer it first. I'm going to tell you it's absolutely fiction. You have a lot of females that have tremendously low body fat, and they have more estrogen than they do testosterone. The amount of body fat has a lot to do with the way you eat and also your metabolism. Now, if you have a higher level of testosterone, will that increase your muscle mass, which in turn help you to stay a little leaner? Absolutely, absolutely. But you can have a tremendous amount of body fat and still have a high level of testosterone. Oftentimes your testosterone levels are determined by genetics. And sometimes your testosterone levels are determined from how many estrogen mimickers. And estrogen mimickers are a chemical that mimics estrogen, and when it gets in the body recognizes it as an estrogen, and it sends your estrogen levels up much higher. And what that does, it depresses your testosterone. It increases more body fat and depresses your testosterone. But can you have a high level of body fat and have a high level of testosterone? It's a dangerous state to be in, but it is very possible. So that one would be fiction. Fact or fiction? You need at least one rest day per week. You need at least one rest day per week. You answer the question first. Fact or fiction? The answer to that question would be fiction. Your body doesn't need a rest day, one day per week, but is it good for you mentally? Is it good for you to take a rest day? Do most people take a rest day? I do. It's important for me. It's important for my sanity, and it's important for the time that I spend with my family. But if I work my chest today, work my back tomorrow, and work my legs on the third day, I can start that process over and then do cardio on the seventh day. That's not going to hurt me one bit. Some people run every single day. Some people, and their body doesn't really need it. Your body adapts and adjusts. But you can't work the same muscle groups day after day after day. You need a rest, 24 to 72 hours for rest and recovery, because depending on how deep you tear that muscle down will determine how much recovery time you need to repair the muscle. But can you work out 7 days a week? Absolutely. If it feels good to you, go ahead and do it. If it's good for your mind, it's definitely good for your body. Some say you have to have a rest day. No, you have to rest the muscle groups. If I work my upper body today and my lower body tomorrow, I can work my upper body again if I'd like to, as long as I didn't tear it down so much so that it didn't recover. The important thing is you have to recover. Once the body recovers, it's ready to work out again. Question number 4. No bodybuilder has ever built an impressive physique by doing an entire body routine in one session. Fact or fiction? Is it possible to build an impressive physique working your whole body in one workout session? What do you think? The answer to that would have to be fiction. It would also have to be a fact. I'm speaking from my own personal experience. One is, if I work my body the way it should be worked, if I work the chest, the shoulder, and the triceps, if I do those 3 muscle groups and I do it correctly, it would be impossible for me to have the focus that I need to go on and do my back, rhomboids, rear delts, and biceps, and then turn around and do my legs in the same day. It would be literally impossible for me to get a great workout in. But can somebody do that? Can somebody work their whole body? I doubt if they could work their whole body the way I particularly work mine, because what I do is I put my mind in the muscle, and instead of just pulling the weight, every single inch of that movement, I'm contracting and I'm forcing that muscle to contract and do the work that it's supposed to do. There's no manipulation, there's no momentum, there's no throwing the weight. If I do it and I focus when I'm competing and I have an in-depth focus, it would be impossible. I am spent mentally after 3 muscle groups. I am spent emotionally and physically. I can't do anymore. If there's somebody who can, they're better at training. They're better at training for volume than I am. My capacity is 3 muscle groups at one time. I could come back later and maybe do abs or lower back, but that's a subjective answer to you. Fact or fiction? For me, it would be fiction. Question number 5. You cannot build muscle while you're training without having enough protein in your diet. Fact or fiction? Think about that. You can't build good quality muscle without having enough protein in the body. That would be fact. I'm going to tell you why. That's really a good question, and it's a tricky question, because the body itself is made up of 70% water, and it's only made up of 15% muscle. 15% protein. And what's really important here is the glycogen, or the carbohydrates that you have in your body, actually feels the muscle, and then the water comes in behind it. For every ounce of glycogen-bound water, meaning sugar that's stored in the muscle, for every ounce of glycogen, it requires 3 ounces of glycogen-bound water. Let me say that one more time. For every ounce of glycogen, which is sugar stored in the muscle, it requires 3 ounces of glycogen-bound water. So when you get rid of your carbohydrates, your body also flushes the water out. So you've got to get the glycogen in the muscle itself, the carbohydrates, and then with every 3 ounces, with every ounce of glycogen, 3 ounces of glycogen-bound water fills that muscle. 15% is protein. So this is a long way of answering the question. 15% is protein. You need at least 15% of your diet to be protein. At least 15%. Sometimes people say, well, I need an excessive amount of protein. I need 500 grams of protein a day. Some of us are taking far too much protein, and we need to find out, is this protein absorbable? How bioavailable is this protein? What's the PER on that protein? And how much is the body actually utilizing, and how much is it getting rid of? So the protein source is extremely important also. So I would have to say that is a fact. You have to have enough protein, and that's at least 15%. Hey, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you liked the video, and again, I enjoyed doing it. I want you to let all of your friends, your family know about this YouTube channel. We are growing, and we're growing greatly. I am so excited about the growth, and I'm excited about you guys and your involvement. Make sure you subscribe, get everybody involved, and until next time, God bless you.